Look at us. We build skyscrapers, split the atom, and walk on the moon. It is incredibly tempting to view modern humans as the finish line of a marathon, the ultimate peak of existence. But biological evolution has no finish line. It has no goals, no intelligence, and absolutely no foresight. It operates blindly, favoring whatever inherited traits increase an organism's odds of reproducing in its current environment. If any single one of your ancestors over the last 3.8 billion years had failed to survive and reproduce, you would not be here right now. This chart shows exactly how deeply connected we are to the rest of the planet by comparing our DNA overlap. You share 60% of your genetic code with a banana, about 85% with a mouse, and roughly 98% with a chimpanzee. You belong to a singular family tree that encompasses every organism on Earth. The starting line for this tree stretches back nearly 4 billion years. A major milestone occurred when life evolved into eukaryotes, complex cells that protect their genetic material inside a central nucleus. Because evolution builds entirely on what already exists, your modern human body is effectively a working museum of inherited ancient structural traits. Look closely at this lower spine and pelvis. Your backbone is a direct inheritance from aquatic vertebrates that swam in prehistoric oceans. Originally evolved for water, this skeletal architecture was repurposed, developing a distinct curvature allowing your ancestors to walk upright. The exact same process applies to your hands. Your 5-fingered limb structure is a prehistoric blueprint, handed down from early tetrapods, the 4-limbed vertebrates that first crawled onto land. Long before the first human ever existed, the core anatomical architecture of your body had already been drafted, tested, and finalized by species that look nothing like us. As the timeline shifts forward from early mammals into primates, a crucial question arises: how exactly do new species split off from the main trunk? No animal has ever given birth to an entirely different species. Speciation is a gradual process of tiny, imperceptible genetic changes accumulating over thousands of generations. As long as populations continue to interbreed and exchange genes, a process biologists call gene flow, they remain a single species. The splitting only happens when that gene flow completely stops. Physical isolation is the primary driver of this stoppage. When a population becomes marooned on an island, surrounded by water and cut off from the mainland, they can no longer share genetic updates with their distant relatives. Geographical barriers like towering mountain ranges do the exact same thing. A separated group, forced to survive in thin air and freezing temperatures, will eventually adapt so heavily to that specific environment that they can no longer breed with their low-altitude cousins. This diagram illustrates how geographic isolation drives divergence. Evolution is a continuously branching tree, scattering outward in all directions based on local environments. There is no straight ladder of progress. Eventually, one of those branches led to the hominins. For most of our history, the planet was crowded with a diverse array of species within the genus Homo. We were not alone. We shared the Earth with relatives like Australopithecus and early toolmakers like Homo habilis. Even in relatively recent history, we shared territories and interbred with close cousins like the Neanderthals. They built tools, wore clothes, and possessed deep biological similarities to us. Yet today, they are all gone. The brutal statistical truth of biology is that more than 99%. This microscopic image shows the outer structure of a virus particle. When we track the rapid emergence of new COVID variants, constantly shifting their proteins to evade human immune responses, we are watching evolution happen in real time. Change is constant. If humanity manages to survive for another million years, the unbroken chain of biology dictates that our descendants will almost certainly not look or function exactly like we do today. While we are bound by the exact same biological rules as a virus or a banana, we do possess one true uniqueness. We are the first known species produced by evolution with the cognitive capacity to turn around and study our own origins. And when we study those origins, we find that despite vast differences in our outward appearance, every person alive today belongs to a single interbreeding species. Nature has no intrinsic morality. Evolution does not optimize for justice, happiness, or meaning. Those are human values that we have to build for ourselves. You are a temporary custodian of your genes. the latest link in a 4 billion-year chain of survivors, carrying life forward into the unknown.